In a small, dusty town nestled between rolling hills, Anna lived a life that seemed as bleak as the grey skies above. Each day blended into the next, filled with chores and the unending monotony of her surroundings. She often gazed out from her window, dreaming of adventure and escape from her humdrum existence. With a heart full of longing, she yearned for something more than the life she had always known. One fateful afternoon, Anna stumbled upon an advertisement that changed everything, a call for mail-order brides in a far-off town. The thought sparked a fire within her. Could this be her chance to find happiness and adventure? After much deliberation, she made her decision. With a trembling hand, she penned a letter expressing her desire to start anew, sealing it with hope and fear alike. As days passed, Anna's anticipation grew. She pictured herself on a grand ranch, surrounded by wide-open spaces and kind faces. But when the day arrived for her departure, nerves bubbled in her stomach like a pot on the verge of boiling over. Her dreams felt both thrilling and terrifying. What if her new life was not as she imagined it? With her few belongings packed in a small suitcase, Anna boarded the train headed toward her future. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks matched the racing beat of her heart. Thoughts raced through her mind. Would she find love? Would the ranch be as beautiful as she imagined? Or would she find herself trapped in another unhappy situation? Arriving at the ranch, Anna stepped down onto the dry earth and took a deep breath, ready to embrace whatever fate awaited her. Little did she know that this journey would lead her to challenges she never anticipated and a daring rancher who would change everything. As the train rolled into the small station near the ranch, Anna's heart raced with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The landscape outside her window transformed from the familiar rolling hills of her hometown to vast open fields dotted with grazing cattle. Bright blue skies stretched endlessly above, but Anna's mind was clouded with uncertainty. She had dreamed of this moment, yet now that it was real, doubt crept in. When she stepped off the train, the heat of the sun enveloped her like a warm blanket. The air smelled of fresh hay and wildflowers, but under it all lingered a hint of anxiety. She clutched her suitcase tightly as she scanned the area for familiar faces. Instead, she saw only strangers, rough men in wide-brimmed hats and women in long dresses bustling about. A sense of loneliness washed over her as she realized she was truly alone in this new world. Soon after, a tall figure approached, his silhouette framed against the bright sky. He introduced himself as Tom, the ranch owner's brother. With a warm smile, he offered to help her with her luggage and led her toward the sprawling ranch house. As they walked, Tom chatted amiably about life on the ranch, but Anna could barely focus on his words. Her mind swirled with thoughts of what lay ahead. Arriving at the ranch house, Anna felt a mixture of awe and fear. The large wooden structure was beautiful, surrounded by fields that seemed to stretch on forever. As Tom opened the door, Anna took a deep breath and stepped inside, bracing herself for what awaited her, her future husband and an entirely new life that felt more daunting than she had imagined. Inside, she met other brides who had arrived before her, each with their own stories and hopes. As they exchanged nervous smiles and tentative greetings, Anna felt both comforted by their presence and overwhelmed by uncertainty about what would come next in this journey that had only just begun. As Anna settled into her new surroundings, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that clung to her. The other brides chatted and laughed, but she found it hard to join in. Her thoughts were interrupted when the door swung open, and a tall figure stepped inside, casting a shadow over the room. Jack, the ranch's lead hand, entered with an air of confidence. He had tousled dark hair, deep-set eyes that sparkled with mischief, and a rugged charm that could make anyone smile. As he surveyed the room, his gaze landed on Anna. He noticed her hesitation and felt an instant connection, a sense that she was not where she truly belonged. "Hey there!" Jack called out, his voice warm and inviting. "You must be one of the new brides." "I'm Jack." He approached her with an easy grin, extending a hand in friendship. Anna felt a spark of hope at his kindness. Maybe this ranch could turn out to be different than she feared. Jack quickly learned about Anna's situation from Tom, who had already filled him in about the new arrivals. He could see that she was anxious and uncertain, and his heart went out to her. Something about her quiet strength intrigued him, and he felt compelled to help her find her footing in this unfamiliar place. Over the next few days, Jack made it a point to check in on Anna. He invited her to help with chores around the ranch, offering her guidance while sharing stories of ranch life. Each interaction slowly pulled Anna out of her shell, allowing her to feel more at ease. With Jack's encouragement, Anna started to see glimmers of possibility in her new life. She admired his bravery and determination as he faced the daily challenges that came with running a ranch. Little did they both know that their growing friendship would soon lead to an adventure neither of them could have anticipated, one filled with danger and excitement that would change their lives forever. As the days turned into weeks, Anna and Jack's friendship blossomed like the wildflowers in the surrounding fields. They found themselves sharing quiet moments during chores, exchanging stories about their pasts and dreams for the future. While milking cows or gathering eggs, they would laugh and talk, each conversation drawing them closer. Jack shared tales of his childhood, filled with adventure and mischief on the ranch. He recounted the time he and his brothers tried to build a treehouse but ended up creating a rickety contraption that fell apart before anyone could enjoy it. Anna chuckled at his antics, feeling a warmth build inside her as she listened to his laughter. In return, Anna opened up about her life in the small town she had left behind, the mundane routines that stifled her spirit and her yearning for something more. She spoke of her dreams of travel and adventure, of seeing wide-open spaces beyond her imagination. Jack listened intently, genuinely fascinated by her hopes and aspirations. He found himself captivated by her passion and resilience, admiring how she dared to dream in a world that often felt limiting. One afternoon, while they were taking a break atop a low hill overlooking the ranch, Anna confided her fears about her uncertain future. "What if I'm not cut out for this?" she asked, looking out at the vast landscape. Jack turned to her, his expression serious yet encouraging. "You are stronger than you think, Anna. You took a huge step just by coming here. Adventure comes with risks, but so does life." With Jack's steadfast support, Anna felt bolder and more inspired than ever. They began to share dreams not just about their pasts but also about future adventures, a journey to explore nearby mountains or even visiting distant towns. In those moments, the ranch transformed from a place of anxiety to one filled with hope and excitement. With each passing day, their bond deepened, setting the stage for an adventure that neither could have predicted. One afternoon, while Anna was gathering fresh vegetables from the garden, she overheard hushed voices coming from the barn. Curiosity piqued, she quietly made her way over, peeking through a crack in the wooden door. To her shock, she saw her future husband, Carl, in a heated discussion with a group of rough-looking men. They were gesturing wildly, and Anna's heart raced as she strained to catch snippets of their conversation. From what she could hear, Carl was involved in something illegal, talk of hidden supplies and plans to smuggle goods across state lines. Her stomach twisted at the realization that the man she was meant to marry had a dark side. The laughter and warmth she had felt around him began to fade away, replaced by fear and uncertainty. What kind of life awaited her with someone like him? Determined to learn more, Anna discreetly left the barn and sought out Jack. She found him fixing a fence nearby and approached him with urgency. "Jack, I need to tell you something," she said, glancing around to make sure no one else was listening. She recounted what she had witnessed, her voice shaking as she spoke. Jack's expression turned serious as he listened intently. "We need to be careful," he warned her. "If Carl is involved in something dangerous, it could put you at risk." His protective instincts kicked in, and he assured her that they would figure out a way to keep her safe. As Anna shared her fears with Jack, she realized how much his presence meant to her. He was not only a friend but someone who genuinely cared for her well-being. Together, they devised a plan to gather more information about Carl's dealings without drawing suspicion. The revelation weighed heavily on Anna's heart as shadows loomed over what should have been a joyful time in her life. But alongside Jack's unwavering support, she felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps they could untangle this dangerous web before it ensnared them both in its grasp. With each moment that passed, Anna knew they were racing against time to uncover the truth before it was too late. As Anna and Jack sat on the porch one evening, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. The peaceful scene was a stark contrast to the turmoil in Anna's heart. She had spent days processing the shocking revelation about Carl, her future husband, and his dangerous dealings. Now, with Jack by her side, she felt the weight of an important decision resting heavily on her shoulders. "Anna, you don't have to stay if you don't want to," Jack said, his voice steady and reassuring. "You have the option to leave. We can figure this out together." The sincerity in his eyes made Anna's pulse quicken, an electric mix of fear and hope coursing through her veins. She gazed at the distant mountains, contemplating her choices. On one hand, there was the life she had envisioned, marrying Carl and finding stability. But now that dream felt tainted by shadows of danger and deceit. On the other hand, there was the prospect of freedom and adventure with Jack, but it was fraught with uncertainty. "What if I make the wrong choice?" Anna asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if I leave and regret it later?" Jack leaned closer, his expression earnest. "You won't know unless you try. Sometimes, taking a leap of faith is the only way to find true happiness." Anna felt a flutter of resolve within her. Jack's unwavering support had opened her eyes to possibilities she had never considered. Perhaps staying would mean living in fear, while leaving could lead to a brighter future filled with adventures yet to come. Just then, a rustle in the nearby bushes snapped her back to reality. Carl had been acting suspiciously lately. She couldn't shake the feeling that he was watching her. As anxiety gripped her, Anna knew she needed to decide quickly. With her heart racing, Anna took a deep breath and met Jack's gaze with newfound determination. I think it's time to escape." Together, they whispered fervent plans for the journey that would lead them away from danger and toward a life full of possibilities, ready to face whatever lay ahead as partners against adversity. The sun had barely risen when Anna and Jack met in the barn to put their escape plan into action. The early morning light filtered through the cracks in the wooden walls, creating a sense of urgency as they whispered their intentions. They both knew that time was of the essence. Carl's suspicious behavior made it clear that staying any longer could be dangerous. "First, we need to figure out how to get you out without attracting attention," Jack said, pacing thoughtfully. He glanced towards the door to ensure no one was approaching. "There's a market in town every Saturday morning. If we can wait until then, it might give us a good cover for your departure." Anna nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and fear at the thought. "I could pretend to be going to buy some supplies," she suggested, her mind racing with possibilities. "But how will I get away once I'm there?" "I'll arrange for a friend of mine to meet you on the outskirts of town," Jack replied. "He has a horse that can take you away swiftly." The image of freedom flashed in Anna's mind, a life beyond Carl's grasp. As they talked through the details, Anna shared her worries about leaving everything behind, even if it meant escaping danger. "What if Carl finds out? What if he tries to stop me?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. Jack reached for her hand, grounding her uncertainty with his steady presence. "We will make sure that doesn't happen. I'll create a distraction at the ranch while you slip away." He outlined his plan. He would keep Carl busy with ranch duties while Anna made her move. With each detail they ironed out, Anna felt a renewed sense of hope blossoming within her heart. They agreed on what supplies she would take, a small bag of essentials, and how and when they would execute their plan. As dawn broke over the ranch, Anna and Jack finished their strategy with determination etched on their faces. Though they were embarking on an uncertain path, together they were ready to find freedom from their fears and step into a future filled with promise. The day of the escape dawned bright and clear, but Anna felt a storm of emotions brewing inside her. As she dressed, each button on her shirt seemed to echo her apprehension. With Jack's plan firmly in her mind, she forced herself to focus on the freedom that awaited her beyond the ranch. Once breakfast was over, Jack and Anna exchanged a quick nod as they parted ways, hearts racing with anticipation. The ranch was buzzing with activity as the staff prepared for the market. Jack busily engaged Carl in conversation, making sure to keep him occupied while Anna slipped away. "Go now, and remember to stay calm," Jack whispered to Anna as they passed each other near the barn. She took a deep breath and took her first steps toward liberation. As Anna made her way towards the road leading to town, every creak of a floorboard and distant laugh sent shivers down her spine. Would Carl notice she was missing? Would anyone stop her before she reached safety? Pushing those thoughts aside, she quickened her pace, determined not to look back. The market was bustling when Anna arrived, filled with lively chatter and vibrant colors. People milled about, bartering for fresh produce and handmade goods. For a moment, the normalcy of it all settled her nerves. She approached a stall, pretending to browse while keeping an eye out for Jack's friend. Just as she spotted him, a commotion erupted behind her, loud voices shouted from the direction of the ranch. Panic surged through her. Had Carl figured it out? Heart pounding in her chest, Anna hurried toward her rescuer who stood by a waiting horse. But just as she reached him, she heard Carl's voice calling out her name, cutting through the marketplace like a knife. "Anna! Get back here!" Terror gripped her as she felt the weight of eyes on her. Jack's friend urged her onto the horse, but time seemed to slow. With no other choice, Anna climbed onto the saddle and spurred the horse ahead. Jack's distraction had only bought them precious seconds. Behind them, shouts were mixed with footsteps pounding against the ground, growing nearer. With adrenaline pumping through her veins, Anna realized this was truly a race against time as they galloped towards an uncertain freedom, ready to face whatever awaited them beyond the ranch gates. As Anna and Jack raced along the dirt path, the thundering hooves of their horse kicked up clouds of dust behind them. Adrenaline surged through Anna's veins as she held on tightly to Jack, who expertly guided the horse with urgency and determination. "Faster!" Anna urged, her heart pounding with the fear of being caught. Just when they thought they had gained a safe distance from the ranch, Jack glanced back over his shoulder and his expression turned grim. "They're gaining on us," he shouted, spurring the horse even faster. The sound of galloping hooves echoed in the distance, and Anna's stomach twisted at the realization that Carl was not far behind them. Panic surged anew as they navigated the twisting trail. "What if he catches us?" Anna asked, her voice trembling as she looked back at the outline of the ranch becoming smaller. Jack's jaw tightened, his focus unwavering. "We won't let that happen. Just hold on." With every stride, the horse seemed to fly over the terrain, but Anna could hear shouting in the distance, Carl's voice fueled by anger. He had rallied some of his men, and their pursuit was relentless. As they approached a fork in the road, Jack made a quick decision. "We need to split up. I'll draw them away while you head towards the river." Anna hesitated, fear clawing at her heart. "What if something happens to you?" "Trust me," Jack replied firmly. With no time to waste, he directed the horse down one path while Anna took off toward the river's bank. The world around her blurred as she rode, branches whipping past and the sound of rushing water growing louder in her ears. She could hear shouts behind her, but she pressed on, driven by the hope of reaching safety. Suddenly, she spotted a narrow opening between trees that led to the riverbank ahead. Mustering all her courage, Anna urged the horse into a gallop toward it. As they broke through the last line of trees, she felt a rush of relief wash over her. The wide river stretched before her like a shimmering ribbon of freedom. But just as she felt hope rising within her, Anna heard a shout close behind. She had to cross now or face what awaited her if Carl caught up. Taking a deep breath, she spurred the horse forward into the water, praying that this leap into the unknown would lead her and Jack to safety and a brighter future beyond their dangerous past. As Anna emerged from the water, she felt a surge of adrenaline as she looked around for Jack. The river had provided her a momentary refuge, but the danger was far from over. Just as she spotted him on the opposite bank, pushing his way through the underbrush, a shout rang out behind them. Carl and his men had reached the river's edge. "Jack!" Anna called, her voice filled with urgency. She watched as Carl's furious expression twisted into determination. "They won't let us get away that easily." Jack pulled Anna behind a cluster of trees for cover and scanned the area. "We need to regroup and face him together," he said, steeling himself for what lay ahead. The sound of galloping horses drew closer, and they could see Carl leading the charge with two of his men flanking him. "We'll have to confront them," Jack declared, his jaw set in resolute determination. He turned to Anna, searching her eyes for understanding. Stay close to me." As Carl and his men approached, there was no backing down now. This was their moment to stand up for their freedom. Jack stepped forward, ready to face Carl head-on. "You can't scare us anymore," he shouted defiantly. The showdown erupted quickly. Carl's men charged at them while Carl himself directed his anger toward Jack. The two men engaged in a struggle, fists flying as they fought fiercely in the fading light of day. Anna felt her heart pounding as she picked up a nearby branch, determined not to let fear paralyze her. She rushed forward, swinging it towards one of Carl's henchmen who had tried to grab Jack from behind. With surprising strength, she struck him hard enough to send him stumbling back. "Keep fighting!" Jack yelled as he threw another punch at Carl, visibly tired but unyielding. The confrontation intensified as shouts echoed around them and fists collided with flesh. In that moment, both Anna and Jack realized that they were not just fighting for their freedom, they were fighting for each other and for a future free from intimidation. With one final push, Anna and Jack combined their efforts against Carl and his men. Their courage, ignited by desperation, surged through them like wildfire. They knew this was their chance, not just to escape but to reclaim their lives from the clutches of fear once and for all. As darkness fell around them, they fought with everything they had, determined to emerge victorious in this crucial moment of truth. As dawn broke over the horizon, Anna and Jack found themselves sitting side by side on a grassy hill overlooking the river they had just crossed. The morning sun cast a golden hue on the water, creating a serene backdrop for their escape. Though their bodies were weary from the confrontation, their hearts were lighter than they had been in a long time. "I can't believe we actually did it," Anna said, her voice trembling with both relief and excitement. The adrenaline of the last few hours was still coursing through her, but now it mingled with a sense of hope and freedom she hadn't dared to dream about just days ago. Jack turned to her, his expression warm and reassuring. "You were incredible back there," he replied with a proud smile. "I couldn't have asked for a better partner in this fight." Anna felt her cheeks flush at his words, the bond they had formed deepening with every shared experience. As they sat in silence for a moment, each lost in their thoughts, Anna reflected on how far she had come. The quiet life she once craved now felt so distant, overshadowed by the strength she had discovered within herself. She thought of Carl and the dangerous life that awaited her had she chosen to stay. "I never knew I had it in me to stand up like that," she admitted softly, glancing over at Jack. "You are braver than you realize," he replied gently, his eyes meeting hers with sincere understanding. "And now we have the chance to write our own story." The weight of their past was still heavy on Anna's shoulders, but she could feel the promise of new beginnings forming in its place. Their adventure together had ignited something in her, a desire for life beyond just survival. "Where do we go from here?" she asked, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. Jack smiled, his gaze turning toward the open expanse before them. "Anywhere we want," he said confidently. "We can find a town where no one knows us, where we can start fresh." With a sense of determination blossoming between them, Anna took a deep breath and nodded. Together, they would forge ahead into their future, an unpredictable path filled with possibilities and adventure, side by side as partners united by courage and resilience. As they continued to sit on the hill, the sun climbed higher in the sky, illuminating the world around them with its golden rays. Anna gazed out at the vast landscape stretching before her, rolling hills that promised new beginnings and endless possibilities. With each passing moment, she felt her fears melting away, replaced by a growing excitement for what lay ahead. "Can you believe we actually made it?" Anna said softly, turning to Jack with a smile. "It feels like a dream." Jack nodded, his eyes sparkling with determination. "It's just the beginning, Anna. We have the chance to create our own story now." His words resonated deeply within her, igniting a flame of hope and ambition that had long been dormant. As they discussed their next steps, where they would find work and what towns they might explore, Anna's mind wandered to all the dreams she had once shelved away. She pictured herself in vibrant markets filled with colors and laughter, meeting new friends, and discovering hidden treasures of the world beyond what she had known. "Do you think we'll ever find a place where we truly belong?" Anna asked, her heart pounding at the thought of forming a new life. "Absolutely," Jack replied confidently. "With our courage and each other's support, we can face anything together. You've already shown you have the strength to fight for your freedom." His praise filled her with warmth, solidifying their bond even further. A gentle breeze rustled through the grass, and Anna closed her eyes for a moment to absorb it all, the freedom they had fought so hard for and the adventures waiting on the horizon. She felt a sense of clarity wash over her. She was finally free to pursue happiness on her terms. As they stood up to move forward down the path, Anna took Jack's hand in hers, a simple gesture that spoke volumes about their partnership. They were no longer just two individuals escaping danger, they were allies embarking on a journey filled with hope and promise. With renewed energy propelling them forward, Anna felt ready to embrace whatever adventures awaited them together. The future was uncertain but filled with endless possibilities, and for the first time in her life, she believed that happiness was within reach.